This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so just a small recap about yesterday's session. So we defined few characteristics where Docker is very good, stability, and then resource allocation, resource optimization, cost optimization, and then performance, and then fast provisioning, less boot up time. So okay, all these are the characteristics we discussed yesterday, and I forgot one very important thing. So consistency. Okay, in all environments.
Hi, Siva. Your voice is
Across
breaking a lot.
dev, perform. These are the usual, and we always have a problem. Something.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi.
Siva, your voice
Is
is
it?
breaking a lot.
Is it same for everyone?
Yes,
Is it
Shiva.
breaking
I
for
think there
everyone?
is some. Yes, yes.
Same for me
Yeah.
also.
It's breaking
Voice
actually.
breaking. Yeah.
Maybe network latency.
Okay. Nothing. Yes. Now.
Now it's clear.
Okay. So then. Now it's clear. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I closed it. Okay. So we were facing some issues, as you already know. Something is working in development, something is working in SIT, but not working in UAT and production. Because so we always take the seriousness of prod and pre-prod environments. So we take these environments as very light. So maybe here the software versions are new, like for example 6.5. Here the software version may be 5. So we were not taking care of some environments very seriously. So that's where the problem comes up, and usually a lot of fights between developers, testers, and L2 support guys. So but Docker addressed that problem. Once you create some package in Docker and make it as image, you will transfer that image across all the environments. Okay, so then Docker will make sure that the consistency is there between all the environments.
Well, can you please zoom the screen?
So you don't need to set up the software.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. So consistency in all environments. So while we are making the Docker images, right? We will build the image once and we will transfer that image to all the environments. It gives the same results. So that's what these are the characteristics we discussed. And so now today we are going to install our Docker. So instead of discussing more theoretical parts, first let's start the installation and running some commands. So later we can discuss more concepts. Then at that time you will understand better instead of we discuss a lot now. So everyone of you should create Google Cloud account. I already sent you a video how to create Google Cloud account, and then sign in. Okay, so you will get in Indian currency 20,000 plus, and in US dollars 300, and this is Singapore dollars 430. So you'll get for 365 days. So you can use a lot of features you can practice. So mostly we are going to use compute engine. So here VM instances. So we can create the servers here. So today first we'll create one CentOS server. because CentOS is the one we mostly use in our company as enterprise server. Okay. So I will name it as Docker. So for any server, right, whether it is physical server or VM server or anything, so we need to decide the operating system and then the RAM and then hard disk and the processor. Only these four things will be differing across the computer or laptop or mobile or server, everything. So we are going to use so John, you can host into your nearest zone, maybe. So I will host it into the Singapore so that latency will be very less. And then change. So here we select our OS. So we are selecting CentOS. CentOS, RHEL both are same, but RHEL is Enterprise Edition. We need to, they will charge. CentOS is exactly same and it's Community Edition. So CentOS 7 is the most stable version we are using in our project. So I'm selecting CentOS and 7 version. So I selected the OS and what I said, hard disk. Hard disk is 10 GB. It's already selected. And here you can see 3.57 GB RAM and then one virtual core. So this is fine for practice purpose. Okay. So I selected all those four components and then create. So Google Cloud will create your server within 2-3 minutes. Then you can start using it. Okay. So I will note down all these steps for you to refer. Let's maintain. I will maintain one repository here, gitlab.com, and I will share the URL to you so that in future you can come here and you can see what are the steps we followed. Okay, so and create the batch. So all of you, please create the account in GitLab. It's just like a Facebook account. That's it. And today we will see lab setup. So for this course, you should have a little understanding on Git also. I have the Git classes earlier in uploaded into YouTube. I will share you that link at the end of the session. So I have, you can see Linux admin classes and then GitLab classes, and I can tell you shell scripting classes also so that you can refer those. So softwares you need to install. There is one more software you need to install, Git Bash. To connect with any Git servers, you should have this software. Just go and download. How you install the VLC player, same you install Git Bash also. Download for Windows and install. And when you go to Windows, you'll get this Git Bash. Okay. So I will clone. And one more software you need to install is Visual Code. It's a code editor just like Notepad++, but with lot of other features. Okay, install it for Windows or Mac, whatever you are using. Just to write our scripts with good intelligence. It is very, very useful than Notepad++. Okay. So first lab setup, first step is create Google Cloud account. And then create a VM with CentOS 7 OS. So after creation, so you will get an external IP address here. So using this IP address, we are going to connect to our server. Before that, so you need to take care of one more thing called firewall rules. Come here and go to networking, VPC network. So here there is something called firewall rules. So all of you aware of firewall rules, right? So by default, Google Cloud blocks all the ports except port number 22. So except port number 22, it will block all the ports. Okay. So sometimes we need port number 80, 8080, 443 like that. So for the lab purpose, I'll create one firewall rule that opens all the ports. But in real time, we don't open all the ports. We open specific ports, right, for security purpose. But here we cannot come each and every time and open the ports, close the ports. Okay. Opening all ports. Keep it everything. Allow. Okay, target tags, all instances in this network. And then IP ranges. If you give 0.0.0/0, it means you are saying open all the ports and accept connections from any IP address. But in real time, you will open specific ports from specific IP ranges. Okay. Create the firewall rule. So otherwise, you cannot connect to your ports other than 22. So then it is very difficult at the time to get this idea. So okay, create a firewall rule to open all the ports. And then next thing. So we created, so you can see here from all IP ranges, we will open all protocols. The next thing, how to connect to your server. So Linux works on SSH protocol port number 22. So you have to connect using any SSH clients. So Git Bash is also an SSH client, and we have Putty also. So you download Putty, and from this Putty, you download just here and install it, and you will get here Putty. So like that it will come. So now how to connect to this server. So we know the protocol is SSH and port number is 22. For example, if you want to connect to Facebook, how you will connect? Like HTTP facebook.com. In background, HTTP uses port number 80. The actual thing is going to be like that. Here, HTTP is protocol, and then facebook.com is IP address. Background, it's going to be converted as IP address using DNS service, and then port number. So once you enter, what it will ask? It will ask username and password. So for any server, any protocol, so the syntax is you must provide the protocol and then the IP address and the port and username and password. So this is the common scenario. So for Linux servers, if you want to administrate those servers, you have to use SSH and yeah, so I will tell you. So username and password is not very secure one, because if you somebody else can see when you are typing the password. So instead of that, we have another mechanism, public key and private key mechanism. So maybe a lot of people already aware of these topics, but I'm telling you for the sake of others. So this is a very secure mechanism to connect to the servers, and real time also we use this mechanism. So I need to, so to understand public key and private key, I'll simply draw something. So one general concept. For example, this is a box, metal box. So for the security purpose, we will lock it. And who can open this lock? Whoever has the key, they can open this lock. Okay, so this key is some pattern, right? So this follows some pattern. If anybody has this pattern, then only they can unlock it. So compare this box with your Linux box. So we usually call our servers as a server or instance or box or node, whatever it means, server. And then this is called public key because everybody is able to see this lock. So then it's called public key. And this one is called private key. So even somebody knows your host IP address, and then somebody knows your public key also, they cannot open until they have this private key. So similar thing we also follow here. So we will generate. So we'll generate public key and private key. We will upload public key to Google Cloud, and you store private key securely. So how will you make the connection then? So the protocol format is SSH -I is to pass your private key, and then your username @ IP address. So instead of password, we are passing the private key, and you have username and you have IP address. So by default in background, it is going to use port number 22 only. Okay. So now our responsibility is to generate public key and private key mechanism. So how will you generate that? So next thing is generate public key and private key. So how will you generate? The command you should understand is SSH -keygen -f, the file name. So this is the syntax to generate public key and private key mechanism. So while generating, don't give any passphrase. So I hope you understood the concept of public key and private key mechanism. So now how will you generate? Using Git Bash only. So let me generate SSH -keygen -f. So I'm giving the name as CentOS, the file name. Don't give any passphrase because we don't want to enter every time. Like this is for training purpose. So if you go into your folder, so you can see here two files are generated. This is public key and this is private key. Usually the extension is PEM. Okay, you can just rename it as .pem. So now this public key, I'm going to upload it into the Google Cloud. See here, if you have metadata and then SSH keys, add SSH keys, don't have any new lines. Okay, so this is the key. So from here, this is the last part. So by default, it will take your computer name. So you just remove your computer name, and give one username. Like I'm giving the username as CentOS. So whatever you use here, automatically it will display here. So then the username is going to be, for all of your servers, your username is going to be CentOS. Okay, and save it. Okay, and upload public key to Google Cloud metadata. Okay, and then the next step is, now we can connect. So we have our private key, so it means like .pem extension. Usually extension doesn't matter, but for the detection purpose. So now how will you connect? SSH -i, that is your private key, CentOS.pem, and then the username is CentOS @ IP address. So your external IP address. That's it. So now you entered into your Linux machine. Okay, see, this is the Linux box, and then the host name is Docker, and then the version something, some architecture 64-bit. So you have all this information. Now I'm already inside the Linux box. So this is how you create a VM, and then you connect to the VM. Okay, so usually Git Bash will not provide you good UX. So we used to have Putty. So in Putty, just follow like this. Give one session name. For example, I'm going to give Docker training, and then so download your Putty and then type here Putty. So you'll get this screen. Here you are going to give one session name, and then going to connection data. Here you give your username, CentOS, and so username you have given, and you need to provide the your PEM file also. But Putty will not accept PEM file. Putty will have its own extension called Putty private key, PPK extension. So you need to have some software Puttygen already installed with your Putty software. Load here, load your PEM file. Save as private key. So usually save with the same name. Don't use any other names. Okay. Now if you can see here, you will get did not save. Okay, save. Where it is saving? Oh, CK85. Okay. Sorry. Oh, okay. So a lot of same folders. So where we have it? Okay, so I'll just remove other K85. Okay, I'll get this. So I'm going to use it here. So this is the PPK we have created. So use puttygen to create the PPK from the PEM file. So we have to attach PPK into the putty. So go to connection, SSH, and then click on auth. Don't click on plus. Select this and then save the session. Don't forget to save, otherwise your settings will not be saved. So now if you give your IP, so select your session, load it, and if you give your IP address, and then click on open.
Shiva, if this key is compromised, then then it will with this key we can log in with other machines also.
Yeah, so usually we don't have single key for all the instances. We manage different keys for different instances, and we store those keys in a vault kind of softwares like HashiCorp Vault.
I mean, if we lost this key, with this key we can, anybody can connect, right?
Yeah, if you give that key to somebody else, they can easily connect, but the firewall will be blocked, right? So for example, we will give the IP ranges to connect to the servers from your office network only.
Oh,
So others, they cannot connect. Oh,
okay.
something refused our key. Maybe I did not save it properly.
Shiva, this is Santosh.
Yeah, hi.
I'm using my Mac actually for this. Like I'm trying to generate this key, but it is
Okay.
showing a bit different actually. The way, like I've got the key, but I'm not able to see that in the editor because the text editor is a bit different here. Notepad
No,
tools.
if you are using Mac, you use terminal.
Yeah, I'm using the terminal. I'm able to generate the key. When I'm trying to open the key from the text editor, right? The key is showing different, which is not showing, it's not starting with SSH, where I could not able to
That's
see the name also.
see, that's a public key. This is a public key. Private key is like this.
Okay.
So you need to upload your public key into your Google Cloud. So public key, the syntax is, this is the algorithm, this is some encode, and this is your username.
Do we need to rename something, the above one, like for
so when you
key, do we
upload
need
to your Google Cloud, right? So this last
Mhm.
part. So this last part, Google Cloud consider it as username. The username you are going to connect your server.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
thanks,
these
Shiva.
two are very important. Yeah, these two are very important. So I confused little bit. Key.
Maybe it will create some more file, right? I mean, independence. You copied,
No,
right?
actually, I already have those keys in my system in our earlier classes. So that's why I'm selecting the wrong keys. This is the PEM file. So load your PEM file and save it in the same folder with the same name, but the extension will be .ppk. Okay. So now, after loading it here, the session, you have the username and then this one, and don't forget to save it and then load it and provide your IP address. Okay, so now, yeah. So earlier I confused that. So this font is very less, right? So how can you increase the font? Again, putty, load your session, go here and appearance, change to the font whatever you want. Okay, don't forget to save again. So this is the putty. See, even putty also here. So you don't have, for example, if I want to open 2-3 servers at a time, you don't have any new tab facility. So what I mean to say is in Google Chrome, you have something called like new tab, right? So this kind of facility you don't have. If I want to work with 4-5 servers at a time, again, I need to click on putty. Again, I need to open a separate window. Putty also is not so user friendly. So there is something called super putty. In background, it uses putty, but it will give you the feel of new tabs. So just download super putty, just like download super putty exe file and install it. Very easy, just like your VLC media player. And once you install it, so launch it. First time launching, it will ask you. So I already installed. First time launching, it will ask you your putty location, because in background it will use your putty, so that it will ask you like this. Okay, this one. Yeah, so you'll get this screen while you are first time launching it. Browse it and go to your program files, select your putty.exe. That's it. And then you can open the super putty like this. You will get the session here, Docker training, give your IP address and click enter. So you have one tab. If you want another tab, you can click another time. If you want another tab, you can click another time. So like that, you can easily use new tabs facility here. And it's very simple, right? So up to now, everyone clear? So we haven't, till now we have discussed about creating server, firewall rules, keys, and then connecting this to the server. Okay, so I'll just write down the steps here. Using putty gen, convert your PEM file into private keys. And then, so what is the command? Use below command. So in background, super putty, whatever, it is using the same command. SSH-I, your PEM file, and then username, @ your IP address. Okay, so that's all. So we have connected, and I'll just push this to the okay. So now you got things to follow here. Like in AWS, we can launch instances by using Git Bash. So you can create the VM in AWS. The process of connecting is same when you do provide name. Okay. So now we will install Docker into our server. Just type Docker installation CentOS, and Docker will give you clear steps how to install. So we are going to install Community Edition. Not this one, just type Docker install CentOS Community Edition. Yeah, this one only. So all of you may be aware of M command. So M will install the packages in CentOS and RHEL versions. Okay, so we are following to use this one. So we are following to we are following these instructions to install Docker. So first you need to install yamutils with sudo. Sudo is just like you are getting super user access. Otherwise you cannot install the software. And next is you need to don't think this is the one. Okay, we'll try this. So I'll write down the steps here. Docker install md, install yamutils. While you are practicing, you can follow the same commands. So if dollar means it's a normal user, if hash means it's a super user. And then the next step is mconfigure manager. So run this command. So whoever has Linux knowledge, they may understand this well. Okay, and then so let's run this step. So is this run? Already installed. And after this, sudo mconfig manager add repo, and this is the URL. Yeah, so now this is done. Maybe earlier some mistake. And after that, so this is optional, you don't need. So now this is the actual installation command. You are installing Docker CE, Docker CE, CLI, and then something called containerd.io. So I will tell you all these things, what is containerd, Docker CE, CLI while discussing Docker architecture. So don't care of this now, just blindly follow these instructions. Later you will understand. Okay. So next step, so the installation is completed. We need to start the Docker. Systemctl start Docker. So this is the command to start, but they have not updated the document here. So there is some problem. So by default, whenever you install Docker, it will create a group called Docker group. So it will create a group called Docker group. So you cannot access the Docker command using, so let's first, I will show you systemctl start Docker. So we are starting Docker and enable Docker. So now run Docker command, for example, some Docker command, Docker ps, you are getting permission denied. So by default, only root user can access the Docker command. Okay, so normal users, they cannot access the Docker command. So, but we don't want to run Docker command using root user, because all of us we don't get the root user access when we are working in real-time environment. So what is the workaround? What is the standard to follow? So first you have, so one way is you should have root access to access the Docker command. Other way is the group created, Docker group. The user should be assigned to that Docker group. Okay, so what is the command to assign to the Docker group? By default, only root users can access Docker command. That we should know, we will not get root user access. So the standard is, when you install Docker, a group called Docker is created automatically. Your user should be part of that group. So what is our username? CentOS. I need to add CentOS to the Docker group. Docker is the group name, CentOS is the username. So this is the command to add the user to the group called Docker. So now you run. Still you are getting the permission denied access, because whenever you add a user to particular group, to get it affected, you need to re-log in. Remember this, otherwise you cannot access it. So now you are getting the access to run Docker command. Okay, so now run this command. To get this affected, you need to re-log in. Okay, so follow these steps while you are installing Docker. mutils, config manager, and then this one. Okay, so this is how you install Docker. So for today, so whenever we start the new instances, right? So just to get you a feel of shell script, maybe even you are aware of shell script, just we will write run shell script. So I want to show you how easy it is to write the shell script, because we must need writing shell scripts while working with Docker and containers. Okay. So before writing it, just write the instructions. So writing the script is not a difficult one. So write the instructions without writing the commands. What are the instructions? First thing is you need to check the user is root or not. So this is the first task, and then second task is install yamutils, install add mconfig repo. Next, install Docker and add user to Docker group, and then start Docker, enable Docker, and then relogin. So these are the instructions we are going to write the shell script. Because we now ran 3-4 commands, we don't want to run every time. So that's why we'll write it a simple script. So whenever you want to install Docker, just run the script. It will be very easy. Okay. The first thing is to check whether the user is root or not. If the user is root, his ID will be 0. So first I need to check his ID. So this is the command to check his ID, whether it will give the ID is ID number 0. Okay. So simple if condition, if the user ID is not equal to 0, then you should be root user to run this script. If you are not aware, just try to understand. Don't scare. You can understand easily in future sessions. Just go and get some shell training tutorial. I will tell you. So later, so what is the process? You need to install yamutils, and have already that command, right? Where is it? This is the command. And next, what is the command? Adding the repo. And next, installing this packages. Okay. So these are the instructions. And next thing, you need to run this command. Okay. So, but everyone may not give the username as CentOS, right? So now I want to know what is the username when I'm running this. So, okay. So here I'll write a simple condition again. If ID CentOS, if exit status is equal to 0, run this. So what I meant to say is, if the username is CentOS, then only run this command, otherwise don't run. So this script has some instructions, right? Your username should be CentOS. So if you have any other username, you just change this. Okay. And after this, you will run Docker. Systemctl start Docker, and then systemctl enable Docker. And at last, I want to print at last I want to print
There is exit not needed.
Where here? Yeah, so okay. So the condition itself is this one. Else given right. Okay, sorry, it's not this one. Else will print some message. Your username should be CentOS or change the username in the script. Yeah, nice point. So we should need exit, otherwise shell script will continue. That's the disadvantage in shell script. In other programming languages or scripting, if this command fails, the script will be exited and it will throw error. But in shell script, if this command fails, it will keep on running the other commands, which is not good. Okay. You need to re-log in. Yes. Okay. So this is the simple script to install Docker. So how to test this? I'll spin up new instance. CentOS 7, and then select. Okay. So I'll just write the command curl script URL and then sudo bash. So now this is a very new VM. I want to test this script, so whether it is running correctly or not. So my script would have been uploaded here. So it takes some time. Okay. So get the raw link, open raw. So this is the script. Okay, get this link.
Here, is there any provision to see status of the instances in GCP?
Yeah. So here you can see the.
Oh, right.
So once you get into this, you'll get full statistics here. Okay. So it's taking some time. Yeah. So now from recent times, the Google Cloud is taking 1 or 2 minutes extra time. Okay. So now, so this is the command curl and get the link of the script. This should be raw link and then sudo bash. So very simple, right? So what is here shell scripting? Shell scripting is nothing. So I can see a lot of people are asking me, do we need scripting knowledge? Scripting knowledge. So scripting is nothing. You are placing your commands one by one with few conditions. Okay. So if If you run manually based on the output, you take the decision. But when you're putting those commands into the script, you will write some if conditions or for loops. That's all the scripting is. Okay. See, I got some error. Line number 19, unary operator expected username should be changed something. So line number 19 is giving error. Here, see, after double equal to, I don't have space. So that's that. So like this, a single time the script may not be successful. So we'll test few more times.
So again, we need to re-execute entire script. Huh?
Yeah. So there will be no effect because you installed already. So this will run. This is already there. This is already there. So nothing will happen. Your script is safe to run as many times. No problem. So while writing the script, sometimes we take care, right? So if something is already exists, skip that step. So
Okay.
that I will show you in future classes. Okay.
Okay. We can alter and we can execute new script also, right?
Yes. So I mean, what I mean to say is your script should be safe to run number of times.
Yeah, got you.
Okay. So that's it now. So we will re-login. Now you run Docker. So it's installed. Okay. So we'll save this script. So whenever we are running, so you can use the script to install Docker while doing practice. Okay. So this is how we install Docker. So until now, any doubts? PowerShell also like this, yes. Any scripting like this? So shell script is for Linux, PowerShell is for Windows. That's it. Only the command names may different. The concept is same. Any doubts?
If I want to connect the servers using Git Bash, so how can I connect?
So we shown you right. So here SSH is the protocol name -i. So you are going to pass your PEM file, not PPK here, PEM file, and then your username, and then your IP address. So putty, super putty, any shell, any SSH clients, right? So they are going to call in background these commands.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
Yes. Somebody was speaking.
I mean, we need to familiar with this Git and Git Bash and all.
Yes. So may you know what is your current skill set?
Mine is into middleware only. This is the first.
Okay. So just get these basics, not very difficult. So these are like universal skills you should have. Maybe for the coming technologies. Okay. So that's how we install Docker. So next we can see our Docker commands. Before that, so let me briefly tell you about how the Docker architecture will be look like. So I have an image and the previous values. Hmm. Okay, maybe somewhere else. Okay, so this is Docker architecture. So in host, so whatever we install right now is a Docker CE, means Docker daemon. And so this host contains Docker daemon, and we have CLI. So this is called client, either through CLI or through any REST APIs. So right now, so this is the whatever Docker PS, it means the running containers. So this is called the CLI. And inside this host, we have Docker daemon already installed. So whenever you run some command, right, first it will connect to the Docker daemon. Docker daemon will check local images. If you have requested, for example, I want to
Version.
yeah, Docker. So first we'll discuss some images or some commands. So Docker PS means running containers. Docker images means what are the images you have in your host. Okay, and then Docker. So let me run something. Better to discuss some Docker commands. Okay, I'll write down. Okay, so Docker PS shows running containers. Okay, so and then so next command we can see Docker search and then image name. If you want to search some images, so where it will search the images. So this is right, your host. Your host will have some repository, Docker images. Whenever you request for some image or some container, first it will check in its local repository. If it does not exist here, then it will go and connect to the Docker registry and pull it and then save it internally and then create it as a container and then gives you the output. So these are the architecture flow. And the components we have is Docker CLI, Docker daemon, Docker local image registry, and then Docker registry, and then Docker container registry. So when you request for something, first Docker daemon will check internally. If nothing is there, then it will download from the Docker registry and then store it here and then give the response to you. So this is the Docker architecture flow. So what is Docker registry here? So Docker registry is nothing but a repository to store your images. So whenever you are creating some images, you need to store it somewhere, right? That's called Docker registry. So Docker will by default will provide you something called Docker Hub. So all of you should have account in this Docker Hub. And in real time, we don't use this Docker public registry. we are going to use Nexus private registry that we will discuss maybe once you complete 3-4 sessions. Now, if we discuss, so we cannot understand it. Okay. So just sign up like you sign up to the GitHub or GitLab, and then once you sign up, just sign in back, or I will use the new account. This is newly created account. That's fine. Your username and your email ID. Use 4 to 30 letters and digits only. Okay, not dots. Username already exists. Okay, so I'm going to use for community. Please verify. Okay, so now I logged in into the registry. So here you can search for any images. For example, CentOS, you can search for CentOS. If it is official image, it will show you a tag here, official. And you can search for Jenkins image. So almost every vendor publish their images into the Docker Hub, any open source vendors. Okay, so you can find almost every images here. Ubuntu, ELK something. Yeah. So you can find all the images here. So what is the flow generally? First, you build the image in your computer, and then you publish the image. Publish the image to Docker Hub, and that's it. And if anybody else wants your images, they will pull your images and then they will run your images. For example, if you see whatever the images here, the CentOS company, they created and they published to the Docker Hub. So if you want, you need to pull it and you need to run it wherever you want. Okay, so that's what I want to show you some commands here. Docker. This Docker PS is showing you the running containers. Docker images is showing you the existing image. Ours is very new server. We don't have anything. If you want to search some image is available or not, by default Docker is connected to the Docker Hub. So in future we will connect Docker to the private registry. So you are searching for CentOS image. It's giving you image description, some stars, whether it is official or not. Okay, so this is the image. Okay, so how you will pull that image? So now these images are existed inside Docker Hub. How you will pull that image? Docker pull the image name. Okay, so it's pulling. Now you search Docker images, then you have CentOS
Shiva, we
Now,
are not able to hear
now
you.
it is giving from the local repository, right?
We didn't hear you for some time.
This Docker image is giving the output from the local repository. No.
Actually, Shiva is not audible to me as well.
Shiva, are you there?
It seems he lost the connection.
Yeah, it shows that the organizer experiencing technical difficulties. So it says that if he does not join within 60 minutes, the meeting will begin.
Network got disconnected. Okay, so this is happening, I think, because of lockdown. Okay, and then so display the images in your host. So in the next command we will see
No, in between we lost for 5 minutes. Maybe we missed something.
lost for 5 minutes.
I mean 3 to 4 minutes at most.
So these are the commands I have written here. So you understand these commands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually you were showing about Docker install. CentOS installation on the Docker.
Yeah. So now, okay, is it lost from last 3-4 minutes?
Yes, actually
Oh,
more than
sorry,
that.
I did not
I think.
see. So what was the last thing you heard?
You were installing.
Docker image.
Yeah, you were installing
Docker.
CentOS into the Docker.
You pull the Docker
Okay.
image from the repository.
Okay. Yeah. So you understand these commands, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now the next command is so we pull the image. Now, how will you create the container from the image? Docker So how will you create the container from the image? Now you have the image. How will you create a container? Docker create and then the image name or image ID. So now the container is created and you got this. This is the container ID. Okay. So now you run Docker PS. It's running containers. If you want the information of all containers, give -a. So now it is showing container is created with this ID from this image, and the default command is this one, and it is created 17 minutes ago. The status is created. So now how will you start the container out of this? Docker start and then the container ID. Okay. So now run Docker PS. It's not running, but if you run Docker PS -a, so you can see it is exited 10 seconds ago. So you started the container, it ran and it exited. Everything has happened just in a second. Why? Because you asked it to run some command, it ran the command, and the container is exited. So that's what the container do. So whenever you ask it to run a command, it will run it and then it will exit. Okay. But there will be some images. So now what you understood how to create a container? First, you need to pull the image. So how will you run the container? First, you will pull the image and then you use create to create the container and then you will start it. So these are the three commands you need to run to create a container. But there is one command. Instead of running all these things, you can just use docker run and then image name. Okay, so this run is equal to these three steps. For example, now I want to run Ubuntu. So first it is checking, unable to find the image locally. Then it is pulling it from the Docker Hub. Pull is completed and it created the container out of it and it gave you the information. Now you run Docker images. You have the Ubuntu, and if you run Docker PS, it ran and it exited. See here. So it ran and then it exited because you have asked that container just to run this command. It ran that command and then it exited. Okay. So now let's write those commands. Create container out of image. Docker create image name or ID. And then next command, start the container. Docker start container ID. So instead of all the above commands, you can run Docker run image name. Okay. So I want to tell you one more point here. So if you run image, right, Docker run, for example, Ubuntu. So what version it will pull? For example, search Ubuntu here. Click on Ubuntu. Go to the tags. So it will always pull the latest version. If you want any other version, you need to provide which tag you want. Suppose these are the other tags. Okay. For example, I want to pull 20.4 version. You need to give Docker pull Ubuntu : what is the version you want to mention. So version is nothing but the tag name. For example, now I will pull or run 20.4. 20.04. Windows image you can't because Windows is not publishing any images here. If
So
you
can we
have some
update our can we update or uninstall Ubuntu from Docker?
Yeah. See, that's what the concept, right? In host, so you can run many containers with different OS versions. So that's where the advantage is. So if you want to test your application in Windows and then Ubuntu desktop and then some other different versions of OS, you no need to have different hosts, right? So you can have different versions of it, and then you can run the containers. For example, one more example. Some of your projects may use Java 8. Some of your projects may use Java 11. Ideally, one system, maybe your laptop, cannot have both the versions at a time, right? But using containers, in one container you can install Java 8, in another container you can install Java 11, and you can test your application very easily. Okay.
But if I have one container and I want to update Java 8 to Java 11, so it is not possible. We need to make another container, right?
Yeah, so you can easily spin up another container, or else you can do some changes in the existing container and you can run it.
Okay.
The container is very lightweight. If you see what is the size of it, see the 73 MB. Can you imagine the size of OS is 73 MB, and there are another OS, Alpine. See, its memory is 5.6 MB. A OS memory is 5.6 MB, which is equal to an MP3 song.
Right.
So it means a bare minimum OS. On top of this OS, you can install whatever the particular packages you want, and you install your application inside that, and you can run it as a container. So people can access with best performance. Otherwise, in normal servers, right, physical servers or VMs, those OS is very fat, GBs of OS, and it will take a lot of time to respond to the end user. So that's where the performance is very great in container technology. So now I will show you. So now all of you are aware of these commands, right? So now very fast, I can install one web server, docker run httpd. httpd is nothing but a web server, Apache web server. And now if you go, okay, so just open another page, I'll show you. Docker ps. So now there is something running. So there's a container is running from httpd image. The command it's running is this one, and then it is up from the 26 seconds. So it means it is live. Now if you send curl localhost connection refused, why did we open all the firewall roles?
I think this is
Yeah.
new instance 144. Here to open.
Okay, which one we are trying? 144. Yeah, that's one.
144. Yeah. You haven't opened it.
No, I enabled it for all instances.
Oh, is it?
library ranges, all protocols. Yeah. Okay, so I'll run it inside background. Docker run -d. -d means earlier when I'm running this, it is not allowing you to do anything because it is stick to the session. See, it's running in foreground. You cannot do anything with this. If you want to run this container in background, Docker run -d is to send it inside the background HTTPD. Okay. Now this is running. So if you type CURL localhost connection refuse provide. Let me remove this and add one more time. So before that, let us discuss some more commands. So suppose this is this container is running. So how will you stop that container? Docker stop container ID. Okay. And then you have all these containers. How will you remove the container? Because it's consuming a lot of space, right? Docker rm and then container ID. It removed. Now if I want to remove all these containers at a time, how will you remove? Docker ps -a and then it is giving -q. So if you give -q parameter, it will give you the IDs. Now if I want to remove all these containers at a time, Docker rm and within this quotes, this code is like before below the escape key. Docker ps -a-q. So this command will give all the IDs to this command. Then this will remove all containers at a time. Okay. So, and this is also consuming lot of space, right? How will you remove those images and unnecessary images? Docker rm I Docker remove image and then image ID. Okay, so it is removed. Now if you want to remove all images at a time, Docker rmi within these codes, Docker images -a -q. So this command will give you the image IDs of all the images. So now all the images are removed at a time. Okay. So if you want to remove the running container, for example, Docker run -d httpd. So this is running in background, right? -d is for background. Docker ps. So it's running. How will you remove the running container? Docker rm. You should pass -f ports. That's it. Otherwise, it will not remove. Okay. And there is one more command, how to inspect. There is like Docker inspect and then container name, but container ID. Name, I will come to it. So if you want to inspect of this container, so this is the low level information about your container. Okay. Its ID created, everything, what is the image it used. So it will have every information. What is the IP address it got?
How to check this container configurations? Like, I mean, if you took the CentOS, right? I mean, what is the Java and all that we
If
need
you
to
want
add?
Java, yeah, that it will come as part of Docker files. So we are now discussing only Docker commands. Once you are aware of all these commands, then we can go and discuss Docker file, and then we create our own images. So we will get the download the image from Docker Hub, and then we do some modifications, and we create our own image, and then we will publish back to the Docker Hub again. Okay, so that I will show you. So now, for example, this is the host. So on top of host, what is a container? Container also having one OS. But it is bare minimum OS. And it have some tools or packages. So it's like mini lightweight host. So a single VM, we are using some Docker concept. We are creating lightweight OS, lightweight servers within the host. Okay, so this is called container. So what is container? Container is a running instance of the image. Creating our own image, all those things we will discuss as part of Docker file. So now let's see why I'm unable to connect to this. All instances. The same commands we selected. So any containers running docker rm-f and then the container ID. Okay, so now I will run docker run in background. URL localhost connection refused. Okay.
Check port 80 is listening.
Yeah, port 80 is listening. I think while installing this Docker, right? So request something from earlier batch. So these two packages are missed. I was thinking something got missed. So what are these packages? Device mapper persistent data. So whenever you are running the container, it needs some storage disk, right? So what it will do, it will get the storage from the host only. So that's why you need this package, device mapper persistent data, and LVM2, it's logical volume mount.
Where can we check this logical volume attached or not?
That Docker will automatically allocate. So that will come as part of volumes concept. I will tell. Oh shit! Don't know what's happening. Okay, so I'll check this before coming to the tomorrow's class. So till this time, maybe we need to relog in. Docker remove -f, remove the existing.
We can use another port and we can check, right?
Yeah, any port. Docker run -t. So we can assign 8080 to 80 and then httpd. Now it is 8080. C URL localhost http localhost. Now it is working. Only port number 80 is not working or what? So if assign 80 and then try. Okay. So now this is working, but if we don't give port also, it should automatically work. I'll check it. So now you can easily check this page, right? So now I install web server. I'm running some pages inside it and I can access over the internet. How I'm accessing? So there is one more option, Docker run -p. -p is to allocate the port to the container. So what is this 80? This is from the host and this is from the container. So what I'm telling to my Docker daemon is run a web server, allocate port number 80 of the host and map it to the port number 80 of the container. So how will you know I should allocate only port number 80? So if you go here to the Docker hub, try httpd and then go here. So there they will give you the details. Okay, so this image or this container will always should be mapped to the port number 80. Okay, this port is your wish. You can allocate 8080, 1000, 8081, any port. So now what will happen? Now I am requesting here HTTP and then port number 80. So first the communication will come to the host on port number 80 and then Docker will internally write some port forwarding rule. Whenever host gets a request to port number 80, just forward it to the port number 80 of the container HTTPD. So that's what it says. So now this host got a request on port number 80 from the browser and this immediately forwarded that request to the port number 80 of container. Okay. So now I will try one more thing. Now I want to run one more web server. Docker run -d in background -p. So this time with 8081, 80, and then HTTPD. Now you can see at a time I am running two web servers. One is on port number 80, one is on port number 8081. So Docker will be used for multi-tenancy also. You can host many applications in different web servers. For example, this one I may use the 2.2 version. This one I may use 2.3 version. I can run different containers, right? Now you access 408081. So this is also running. So at a time you can run many different versions of your images or containers.
So we can avoid multiple ports on OS level in this case.
Multiple ports on OS level. No, you are
If the
using
port,
multiple ports on OS. Now I see. Now I will use Docker 2 version, HTTP 2 version.
Siva, as far as I understand, we can also provide some. It means Docker also generates some random host port, right? So like
yes,
something.
when you give port, it will be generating some random.
Yeah, so if we are not giving it like 80 or 8081, so it generates random port. So
Yes,
if we
yes,
create 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever container, so it provides random.
yes, something like yeah, definitely 33,635 from there. I think there is a port range. So if you don't give any port number, your host will allocate some random port.
It is called as something like load balancer or something, right?
No. Load balancer is different. So that we will come to that topic.
Okay, got it.
So till now you understood how to allocate the port. So now see here, I am running. I'm running three different web servers. So this one, see, on 8082 also I'm running different version of web server. Okay. So you know all these commands, right? For now, docker start, docker run, running the containers in background. Docker run -d image name. Allocate the port. The same command. With -p option. Host port :container port. Okay. So now my containers are running. How will I log in into those containers? How can I check? The command is docker exec -it. Exec means execute. -it means interactive, and then provide the container ID and then some command bash. So now I'm inside this container. So I got access the container shell access. Now here there is something called htdocs vim index.html, okay, or else echo hello docker. So I'm entering inside the container, okay, on port number 8082, right? Now you refresh this, you are getting whatever the web page you have given. Okay, so instead of this text, you can run full websites inside those containers, and you can access you can start accessing those web pages. Okay. Yeah, we need to delete container and images separately. So that's all for today. So we'll discuss about Docker files tomorrow. We start creating our own images, publishing to the Docker Hub so that others can start using of those images. Okay. So any doubts till now? And how is it? Are you able to understand?
Yeah, hi Shiva. I have one basic doubt.
Yeah.
So we on our host, let's say on our Linux server and host, we'll have any number of images, and an image can have any number of containers. Is it that correct?
Yes. So one image can be used for a lot of containers.
Okay, and our host can be capable for hosting any number of images.
Yes, based on your RAM and based on your storage. Suppose you have 1 GB RAM, you cannot run more images, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where cloud came into picture, right? So we can increase the capacity using
So
that
you
VMs.
cannot. Yes, you cannot scale it. So single image, you can run multiple containers. So it's one container is an instance of an image. You can run multiple instances of images called multiple containers. Okay. So any other doubts? And how it is looking for you? Is it understandable? So you should go and practice again after the class on daily basis. Okay, so I will be sending the videos to you on daily basis, right? You should also practice on daily basis. Otherwise, after some time, it will be very, very difficult to you. Any other doubts? Any more questions?
Not from my side.
Okay. So, okay, if no questions, we can meet again in tomorrow's class. So I'll send you this URL. Just remember this URL. This is very easy. Just remember this URL, gitlab.com K805. That's it. And I will send you in a message also. Okay, so that's all for today. See you tomorrow, same time. So we'll start discussing Docker file, creating our own images and publishing.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, see you.
Thank you.